Yeah, I mean, I think that's all we can talk about with this Red Sox rotation, other than the person who they lost in Nathan Eovaldi, who went to the Texas Rangers on a 2-year, $34 million deal. Brad, you want to talk about that deal?
So honestly, the structure of it is a little bit weird because you kind of have to base it off of his 2021 more than his 2022. He was hurt for a majority of 2022. So at its base, it's 2 years, $34 million, which gives him 17 million average annual value, which is a fine contract for someone just coming off of an injury-plagued season. He did finish, what was it, fifth in Cy Young voting, third in Cy Young voting 2021. Um, but in all honesty, it wasn't the best Cy Young caliber season. Um, so if that's the base, bonuses will go up to 3 million a year if he reaches 160 million. 160 million, yes, 160 innings pitched. It'd be great if he could throw 160 million innings. He finished fourth in Cy Young voting in 2021. So if he repeats his 2021 in the innings pitched metric, he'll make about $20 million a year. If he throws 300 innings between next year and 2024, a $20 million option in 2025 will ensue, along with those $3 million in bonuses, which can bring it up to a 3 year, $63 million contract.
And I think you're winning on both sides. I think it's a little bit of a gamble on Nathan Eovaldi because we've seen his velocity go down a little bit, actually significantly since that injury. Um, but what the Rangers have building here in this starting rotation, I think they can bring Nathan Eovaldi back. I think the main factor is health now. When you get a healthy season out of Nathan Eovaldi, you're getting an effective starting pitcher. And put him in a rotation where he'd be like the four guy, and it's he doesn't even have that pressure on him anymore.
Like they've created a really good starting rotation top to bottom. Like assuming everyone is healthy, that's a healthy Jacob DeGrom, a healthy Nathan Eovaldi, Martin Perez, and who else is they had one other pitcher, right?
John Gray,
John Gray. And then you also have Jack Leiter coming up. So like
Andrew
this
Heaney.
Andrew Heaney, yeah, that was the other name that I was thinking. Like this starting rotation is going to be really good. It's just a matter of health. And I'm excited to watch them pitch. It's just they don't really have any other bats outside of them, in my opinion.
Honestly, I don't see this rotation being its form for more than a month.
That's
I don't
fair.
see a way that Heaney, DeGrom, Perez, I think should be healthy, but Heaney, DeGrom, Eovaldi, all three of them stay on the field for more than a month. Even if DeGrom makes it to opening day, which didn't happen last year, barely happened in 21. Um, they still have like young talent that they can rely on in Dane Dunning and Glenn Otto. It's low ceiling talent that hasn't really clicked into anything over the past 3 seasons. And obviously they have Jake Uderizzi to lean on if they have to for a 6-man rotation, which might not be the worst thing for them because you can get 27, 28 starts out of Jacob DeGrom. That's worth every single penny. But if you're pushing DeGrom out every fifth day, you're risking injury even more and more.
My thing with Jacob DeGrom, right? It might not be the worst idea to kind of just have him come up, like pitch a game, and then kind of like, and if like something is happening and like you can tell he's not kind of like there's something in him, just shut him down for the season. And then if you are a playoff contender for some reason and you get close to you're in playoff contention, try and bring him back up and have him pitch into the postseason. Kind of like what the NBA does. Like they have load management that they do, and so like Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James or they kind of sit for a large majority. Like when you say like a little less than 50% of the season they like sit and just to do to load management, and then in the playoffs they're like 90% healthy.
I don't think you can do that with a major league pitcher though, because you're
It's
asking him
harder
to
for
ramp
pitching.
up right before a
Yeah,
postseason.
you know.
And I think in order for the Rangers to make the postseason, they have to have Jacob DeGrom healthy. He is their X factor this season.
Absolutely. Yeah, without a Jacob DeGrom, without a healthy Jacob DeGrom, um, they're not going to make it that far. I don't think. I think they're going to rely on that starting pitching more than anything.
Yeah, and obviously back to that Nathan Eovaldi move, he's a solid arm, but he's not an arm that can carry a pitching staff. Nathan Eovaldi is not an ace. And in order to make it to the postseason, honestly, at this rate, you have to have an ace.
Yes, 100%. Like I mean, it's gonna speak for themselves like as the season plays out. But it's just I think it's gonna be injuries and there's gonna be holes in this lineup that teams are going to exploit.
I think, and also you mentioned the offense. Like Mitch Garver probably won't stay on the field for most of the season. Corey Seager and Marcus Semien were fine last year, but they weren't the worst of their contract. Third base is Josh Jung, who, good prospect, but is that really going to be what you want to put out there when you're trying to spend all this money on starting pitching?
Yeah.
And then the outfield is kind of just
have
it's
Leody
something to be
Taveras.
really worried about, because Leody Taveras, he had a good breakout August, September, but you don't know how much of that is his true form. Adolis Garcia has proved to be a reliable everyday player, but you don't make the World Series with a team full of reliable everyday players.
Yeah.
You need stars, Tom.
Yeah, and I think you're downplaying how good Corey Seager and Semien were last year. They started off very bad, but Seager's still top 3 shortstop in the game, and Semien really heated up towards the end and is one of the best power hitting second basemen in all of baseball. Name 5 shortstops better than
You're saying top 3. At last season, Seager was a top 3 shortstop. That's what you said.
I would say yes.
I
Brad?
would disagree with that.
I would disagree with that.
Name the 3.
Lindor, Turner, Bogarts. Story's not a shortstop anymore, but he was basically the same caliber as Corey Seager.
I would have said Lindor and Turner are the better ones. I'd say he falls at
Bogarts
3.
was better.
Bogarts was 100% better.
Bogarts was 100% better.
Tom, go pull up that stat page real quick.
I'm pulling up that stat page right quick.
It's
I'm
Hold
just
on.
trying to think
Yeah.
shortstops.
Honestly, their best
then
bat last year was Nathaniel Lau.
For sure.
I think we're all
that was
like
something no
Carlos
one
Correa
expected
was
either.
also better.
Well,
Carlos Correa.
Better
Dansby
when he was on the
Swanson was
field.
better.
No,
Mhm.
no,
Dansby Swanson
was
no.
Dansby
You
Swanson.
cannot say
Pull up
that.
Dansby Swanson's
Okay.
baseball reference.
Dansby Swanson, we're pulling it up right now. All right. Baseball reference, Dansby Swanson. He had a 776 OPS with a 115 OPS plus. Also, almost won a platinum glove in the National League. Texas Rangers, Corey Kluber, 772
home runs.
OPS.
Hey, but he led all of baseball in home runs, though.
No, not all
no.
of baseball.
62 home runs, Aaron Judge.
No, all of baseball in the shortstop position, at least.
Oh, okay, there you go.
But yeah, he's not obviously spectacular, but I would still consider him a top 5, not top 3. His OPS is 772. That's the worst of his career. I don't think you're gonna get that next season. I think you're gonna get more of the 950, 925, which is more of his average. And that's what it's gonna be for the rest of his career. I think he was making the adjustment to Texas last year. And I think honestly, as Seager and Semien get more comfortable, I think they're gonna start blossoming. You saw it happen at the end of the last season. Semien was horrible. He could not hit anything. And he started heating up towards the end. And I think you get a full season out of both of these guys while they're comfortable. I think it's going to look a lot different. That's a good middle infield right there.
Yeah. It's just,
Also expensive,
again, it's also the parts around it. Like, it's Nathaniel Lau, who's good, but then past that offense, it falls off.
You need to fill the holes, and I don't think they've ramped up on starting pitching, but they're not filling the holes in the offense that they desperately need.
Yeah.